In this video, we'll look at the best perps DEXs to trade crypto. I'll show you the different platforms and how they work, some of the differences between them, the trading fees and other important information that you need to know. I'll list it all down in the description as well, along with the timestamps of this video. Now, because perps DEXs are a fairly new category within DeFi, some of these platforms have tokens already, and some will be launching tokens in the future. The reason I say that is because within DeFi, for the most part, if you're an early user on a platform that doesn't have a token yet, the expectation is that when the token does launch, the project are going to airdrop some of those tokens to early users as a bonus for using the platform. So if you're using a platform that doesn't have a token yet, you can go to the docs of the platform. And again, I'll leave all of the information and the links to all of these sites down below. And you can read the documentation, and if an airdrop is happening, you can see on Aster right now, there's an airdrop claim for early users. And so if the platform that you're using doesn't have a token, they may be looking to reward early users with an airdrop when it launches. If the platform that you're using does have a token already, they can still use that token as an incentive for users to trade certain amounts of volume on the platform. So you can choose what is best for you and what you think is going to be of benefit. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future to airdrops or bonuses. They can change over time, and you have to look at the individual platform. But because it's a new category, that is an extra bonus for using these platforms if you're going to trade the volume anyway. Some of these exchanges will also offer fee discounts or sign-up offers as well, much like centralized exchanges. I'll leave those links down in the description where you can get these extra bonuses on top as well. So for Apex, it's up to $10,000 as a bonus and then 5 to 10% permanent fee discount. For Hyperliquid, you can get a 4% fee discount on the first 25 million in volume, and then after that it runs out. For DEXs and Aster, I didn't see any bonuses or any other discounts for the most part. So it's Apex and Hyperliquid that are doing those right now. Another thing to be aware of is who is actually behind these exchanges, like who's developing them. And most of the top exchanges have some big names behind them from the centralized exchange world. So I'll just explain that now. You can see that the perps DEX trading volume is certainly increasing a lot. And that's because most of the major exchanges are also now going into the DEX field. So for example, Apex was actually spun out of Bybit, which is the second largest exchange in the world for perpetuals volume. So they know what they're doing, and it was spun out. So you have Bybit, the centralized exchange, and then Apex, which was spun out. Hyperliquid is actually its own thing. So that was developed specifically as its own perp DEX. This is kind of the number one or the leading perps DEX for a while through trading volumes. However, it's coming under massive pressure from competition now. DEX was spun out of MEXC, which is also a massive centralized exchange for spot and futures volume. And Aster is invested in by CZ. Now, CZ is the big Binance guys. So obviously the biggest centralized exchange in the world by a country mile is Binance. CZ took his money and invested in Aster and is basically making the perps feature online as well. So a lot of these major exchanges are spun out of teams from the centralized exchanges going on chain. Now, why would you use a decentralized exchange versus a centralized exchange? These, for the most part, are not exactly decentralized exchanges. The main reason for that is because blockchains aren't performant enough for this. For the most part, the exchange, the order book, how orders are matched, are run on normal Web 2 style servers. The difference is that with centralized exchanges, you have to log in with an email address and a password, and then in order to trade, you have to do KYC. You have to tell them who you are, your name, your passport, or your ID card, and then if you're from a certain country, you may be blocked from trading perps. Or if you're not a professional investor, you may be blocked from trading perps. With decentralized exchanges, it's different because you log in with your crypto wallet. And even though the order book is run mostly on Web 2 style servers, you're logging in with your crypto wallet, which means if you have a crypto wallet, which anyone can sign up for and use, you just connect your wallet and that's it. So no KYC, no account, it's just your wallet. So this is the reason why many people are choosing to trade on-chain instead if they can't trade on the centralized exchange. The other reason is on-chain is just better. You have your money there, you can get it in and out easily, you can switch protocols easily, you don't have to create accounts and give your ID everywhere. So there is a benefit here. So how these work is that you're using blockchains to get money in and out of the exchanges. So if you connect your wallet, it's just going to say, yes, your wallet's connected, we will let you trade. And as you can see here, there are certain different blockchains that you can use to deposit your money into the exchange. So it's not like you use your DEX with Uniswap, you connect your wallet, you press swap, and it actually does that exchange on the blockchain and you have to wait for it. That's not how perps DEXs work. What you do is just use one of these blockchains to deposit some stable coins into a smart contract. So you take your $1,000, you have it in your wallet. You have it as, like, let's say USDC or USDT. You can deposit it in to the exchange's smart contract where that stablecoin is held, and they know that it's your wallet sending it in, and so they give you a balance to trade with on the exchange. You trade it back and forth on the exchange, Web 2 style, and then if you want to take the money out again, they just use your dollars that you held up, and they use the blockchain that you want to send it back out of the smart contract into your wallet. So the real benefit here is that you're using blockchains to log in and to send money back and forth. The exchange itself, for the most part, isn't really decentralized, right? It's just on Web 2 servers, or the validators that are on are very centrally controlled. But of course, we have freedom to connect our wallet, trade, send money in via a blockchain, out via a blockchain, and it's a lot easier like that. The way that you log in and deposit money to a perps DEX is by connecting your wallet. So we'll go to the login tab on Apex here, and then just log in with my Rabby wallet. It says, do you want to connect? So you can do that. Now, on most of these exchanges, they're going to ask you to sign a message with the wallet. That just proves that you own the wallet and can sign transactions. There may also be terms and conditions that you have to agree to by doing that as well. So I'm going to send those requests, and it's going to ask me to sign them and then log in. So I'm going to press sign and confirm. There's no gas fee for doing that. It's just signing a transaction, and now I'm into the exchange. From here, like I said, what you want to do is go to deposit, and it's going to ask you which chain are you depositing on. Some of these exchanges will be trading USDT. Some prefer USDC. It depends which exchange, but I'm going to deposit here on the Arbitrum One network. I've got some USDT, as you can see. I can put that into the exchange. I have to enable the USDT first, and then after that, I can deposit it in. So I'm using the blockchain to deposit money into a smart contract, and the value that I deposit in is going to be able to be used on the exchange to trade. Whatever the balance is left, if I make profits or losses, I can then use this. I can essentially withdraw my stablecoins from that smart contract. So that's how it works, and you're not actually using those blockchains to trade on. You're just using those blockchains to send money back and forth to the exchange and the smart contracts that it's using. A quick overview of the main trading screens on these exchanges shows you that they're all exactly the same. Right? The layout is the same, just like on centralized exchanges. The big differences come in the trading volume and the amount of traders on them and the assets that are supported. You're going to need an exchange that has a high amount of trading volume and that has a lot of different market participants. So the trading spreads are very tight and the prices are accurate. That's the main thing. If you're on an exchange with very low amounts of volume, then you could have more volatility in the price, and the prices of the assets that you want to trade may not be exactly the same as the underlying spot pairs, and that makes things a little bit worse for trading. So you just want to trade on these. Now, all of these are major exchanges with high amounts of volume, so it should be fine. But as we can see on Aster, you just choose the perp that you want to trade. All of these are against USDT, and they will list these. So you can trade it here on the right-hand side, just put in your market and limit orders. It's the same for Apex as well, very similar. Choose the asset that you want to trade right here. You can actually trade spot on some of these exchanges as well. Now, again, it's not spot exactly, it's just not perps. Perps are a contract, a synthetic contract that you trade. Spot is going to be cash settled immediately, but it's not exactly spot, right? Because you can't buy a Bitcoin spot on another blockchain other than through a centralized exchange and swapping it for cash and actual Bitcoin, right? So these are representations of these assets, not exactly the assets themselves. So that's super important to know, is that on these exchanges, you're trading representations of the assets only, and it's not like buying the actual asset on a centralized exchange and being able to withdraw it over that specific blockchain into your wallet. On EdgeX as well from XC, again, they just have USD pairs, as you can see here, but for the most part, you're depositing USDT. But exactly the same. Here is the order book, and then you can just put your orders in on the right-hand side. And for Hyperliquid, exactly the same. They have Bitcoin USD pairs. For the most part, Hyperliquid want you to deposit USDC and not USDT. However, they are starting to use their own stablecoin as well. But again, on the right-hand side, choose to go long or short, and then you can put in your order types. I'll also show you the trading fees between them as well. This may change over time. It's very new. I couldn't even get any trading fee info for Aster. It's not in their documents, so I have no idea. But it's going to be competitive for the most part if CZ is behind that. EdgeX, 1.5 to 3.8 basis points trading fees. Very, very low, so you don't have to worry about this. As you can see here, these are the discounted trading fees that you may get. I'll leave those links below if you want those discounted fees here. But for the most part, very competitive, low fees. And the chains that are supported, you just deposit your stablecoins in on those chains and then withdraw out on those chains as well. and you're not actually using those chains to trade. As you can see here as well, some exchanges support both USDT and USDC, some only USDT. Not a big deal. You can get the stablecoin that is necessary for whichever of these platforms that you're using. It's also important to compare the tech behind these exchanges because they're called DEXs or decentralized exchanges. That's not really what they are. They're more accurately known as on-chain exchanges. They're centralized exchanges because they are not specifically on the blockchain. When you trade, you are not executing a smart contract. What you're doing on chain is sending your stable coins from your wallet into their smart contract, so it's locked up, so they can put the dollar balance in your account, and then you're just trading on Web2 servers, basically. So it's an on-chain exchange without KYC and login via password and email, but it's not really a decentralized exchange. But maybe they get there in the future, but for right now, it really is just like putting your money in their wallet, just like a centralized exchange, and they put the dollar balance in your account. But obviously it's not their wallet, it's tied up in a smart contract on one of the major exchanges like Ethereum, Arbitrum, BNB. Apex actually use ZK proofs, which means that you can, in a worst case scenario, force the withdrawal back to Ethereum, one of the other major chains. On Hyperliquid, for what I've read, it's basically a multi-sig wallet, right? Which is essentially basically like a centralized exchange. It's an on-chain exchange, not a decentralized exchange. Now, maybe they change that in the future and they upgrade and everything, but for right now, basically it's a centralized exchange with on-chain login and deposit and withdrawal of money. You can see EdgeX here uses StarkX. That's what Apex used to use, but Apex upgraded to ZK-Link. V2 will be a blockchain apparently, but everything's so early right now, all right, it's just not really the case. And Aster has no information on that. Their docs are super sparse, so I'm assuming it's just a multi-sig wallet with on-chain login. So that's where it is right now. I would always just recommend caution when using anything in DeFi, right? Because even though it says it's a decentralized exchange, it's not really for the most part on these exchanges. So just be cautious when using anything in DeFi and make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Another risk to be aware of that none of these exchanges will tell you is that we are trading perpetual futures here, right? So it doesn't matter, centralized or decentralized exchange, there is a risk to the exchange that some of the accounts on the exchange will make large losses and not pay them back, especially on DEXs because they have no legal recourse, right? It's just a wallet. So let's say a wallet makes a huge loss in a trade and it doesn't pay for the loss. Well, the exchange has to pay it. That happened on Hyperliquid recently. There was basically an attack on the exchange where this meme coin was listed on the exchange. And they realized that they could buy a lot of the spot meme coins. They held that spot asset. They made the liquid supply very, very small, and they drove up the price of that token. Meanwhile, on Hyperliquid, they took a massive short position on that token, creating a huge loss in that trading account. And guess what? They weren't going to pay it back because it's just a wallet. That created a massive loss for the exchange, which Hyperliquid had to pay for. And what they actually did with this market is essentially just change the price of the market and basically said, people did it, people attacked us, but we're just going to arbitrarily change the price of the market so we're not making as big of a loss. And it said that there was compensation for affected users because there are users trading that as well, right? Trading the price, expecting to take a position, and then actually when you get out of the position, you make your profit or your loss, right? They said, no, we're just going to change the market and that's it because we've lost too much money. And the trade that you had, you didn't have it. That's not great, right? But that's something that can happen, especially with smaller tokens or on these exchanges, is that it's a risk you have to be aware of. If you're depositing money into an exchange and it makes massive losses, are they going to pay you out? Probably not, right? They're probably going to say, right, we have to, sell the token down, or we have to go into liquidation or something. And it's a big mess. So yes, these exchanges are decentralized in the fact that you log in with your wallet. But apart from that, there are still all of the centralization risks that we would expect on centralized exchanges. There are lots of perps DEXs out there these days, but just stick to the major players. They've got a long history, they know what they're doing with the exchanges, and they've got big reserves behind them. But still, they're different projects than the major exchanges. So it's just something to be aware of. The risks do still exist, but I'll show you how these exchanges work. So once you've deposited your stable coins into the exchange, they'll give you that value to go ahead and trade with. So I'll just open up a trade here. So I'm going to go long with an amount, and then we can just buy long, press confirm, and you can see it's immediate, just like a centralized exchange. I'm going to close that via a market order, press confirm, it's immediate as well. Whatever the profit or losses that you make in your account, whatever you have left, that's what you can withdraw via one of the major blockchains into your wallet. If you want to know how to use wallets, how to get stablecoins in and out, and specific video guides for these exchanges, that will all be listed down in the description below. If you want those bonuses on Hyperliquid and Apex, I'll link those below as well. And if anything changes with the bonuses, I'll just change the description. So all the information will be down there for you. I'm James, it's Money's EG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.